What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for everybody for tuning in, for the comments and subscribing. I really appreciate it. And like I like to say, we just getting started talking about these topics and sharing my perspective on it. I want to say, and I'm going to say this every once in a while, that that's what this channel is about. I'm not claiming to be some genius. I'm not claiming to have the final answer for every matter of life, but I am claiming to have my perspective or point of view on it, and that is the reason that I made this channel, to just simply give my opinion, my point of view, which we all have. And if we want to, we all could start a YouTube channel and give our opinion and do the feedback back and forth. So I just want to say that I'm not claiming to be some guru that had a final answer for all things, all matters of life. I'm nobody's yoga. I'm just here to give my perspective, and with my experiences and what I have seen in my still relatively young life. At 47, I'll be 48 next month, Aries. I feel like that I have some sort of insight into areas, particularly as it relates to race, religion, and relationships and careers. So that's all. I'm not going to say that this every time when I start a video, but every once in a while, maybe once a week, I'm just going to have to throw out that disclaimer for the new ones that come on and may have not watched my old videos. I want to talk about today and give my perspective on, are dating apps really effective? And I want to come about it from a man's point of view and a woman's point of view that are good men and women. I'm talking about someone who's looking for a serious relationship. Are those dating apps effective? To cut to the chase, my perspective is that they are not. If you watch my video on first date, lasting impressions, I talked about how I went out on a date with a lady, and I talked about how that went. Now, that was one date and the only date that I did go on, but to get to that point of even that date, there were several women that I had to interact with, that I had to weed out, so that I never went on a date with them because they were weeded out. And then even after that, there was also several women that I had to weed out, and so we never ended up going out on a date. It got to the point where I said, this is a waste of time, and I got off of it. And at that time, I was on that one. That date came from Facebook, and I was on another one. I can't remember the name of it, but it was another one that was real popular at the time. And I never even went out on a date with that one because that one was even more ridiculous. One of the things that I noticed for me when I was on there, and both sides can do this, male and female. You get on there, and like, let's say, even though that wasn't a quote-unquote Christian dating site, but let's say you get on there and you say, I'm a Christian. That the degree of Christianity can be so far that if a person is a true Christian, for real, as we say, then another person says they're a Christian because they go to a Christian church on Sunday morning, and so they call themselves a Christian. Well, that degree of Christianity is going to be, that's a big gap between I'm a devout Christian and this is how I live my life strictly by the scriptures, and I try to live by the sayings of Christ and the teachings of his disciples and apostles, versus I go to church on Sunday and I'm inspired by the preaching, by the singing, by the choir, by the fellowship. And so I believe in Christ, so I'm a Christian. So just that one genre there, you're not going to, you see what I'm saying? You're not going to, if you're a real Christian, you're not going to get what you're looking for if they're like that. And if you're like that, you're not going to get what you're looking for if you run into a real Christian, because already the value is going to be way off. You could say, you know what I'm saying, you could click the button and say, what do you like to do for fun? And you say, I like to bowl, I like to play spades, I like to go fishing. Then you chopping it up with the lady, and you come to find out, well, when the last time you played spades? Well, I ain't played spades since I was in college. Well, when was you in college? I was in college 20 years ago. What are you talking about? So it's just a lot of things that's going to be thrown on these dating apps, that's going to be thrown out there to try to get people's attention and reel people in, when the reality is that may not even be, and more than likely, that is not who they're going to be. Even if they're not trying to catfish on purpose, it's just the way that these sites is designed to just throw out information about yourself. And of course, everybody want to put their best foot forward, right? Everybody want to say something about themselves that's going to be very attractive to whoever may be watching. So you're not going to say less. You're going to give all this information. You're making a resume. You're making a resume, and that resume, the information on there may not even apply to you anymore. It may not even be something exciting to you anymore, but we feel like we have to go ahead, get on there, put it on there, and then the one that's looking at that information is going to say, well, this person we got a lot in common right here. We got a lot in common. We have the same interests. Then you start talking, you don't have the same interests. So it ends up being a waste of time, waste of time, waste of time. Now, I said that especially for good men and women, I feel it's a waste of time, because the majority, and this is what, I can't speak for women. 1 second. I can't speak for women on this one now. I can't speak for women, but men know that dating apps are more or less hookup sites. That's what men know. Men know that, no, I've never heard a man say, I'm going on a dating app because I anticipate finding me a good woman. Now, let me say this. I have heard stories of people who have gone on dating apps, dating sites, and they have found the love of their life. I have heard those stories, as I'm sure you all have heard those stories. I have heard those stories as well. But this is what I'm going to say. The ratio of those stories to the terrible stories that we have heard, or to just to the ones that you have to go through and it doesn't even become anything, that ratio is way higher than the success stories of somebody that found the love of their life and they lived happily ever after and walked off into the bliss of the sunlight. You don't hear about those that often. I would say it's probably 1 out of 5, 10,000. You don't hear about those. Most of these situations is hook up situations. I know for myself, when I went on there, I waited about 2 years and then I went on there. And even me being on there, and after talking to women a couple of times, you figure out really quick, because I kind of knew what was going to happen, so I knew how to play the situation. And after 3 or 4 conversations, it's already when we're going to meet up, when we're going to hook up, when we're going to do this, when we're going to do that. So the first conversation, of course, they, oh yeah, I like to do this, I like to do that. Then I will feed, if you watch my video, engage this conversation, I would engage a conversation of what they say they like to do, to see if that was really what they was about. Most of the time, that conversation didn't last long, because that's not really was a passion point of theirs. So I already knew, just wait for it. No, you saw my picture. You like my bio. You like what was on there. I seem like a cool fella. And you said, I'll choose him. And while you choosing me, you probably choosing, 10 or 15 more to fish and see what can you draw out the ocean. And that's what it was. And I never went on those, because again, dating apps to me are a waste of time, unless you want hookups, unless you are shy and don't want to, just approach a man or a woman and just tell them I want something physical, that's it. Then you can slide in on a dating app, do your little thing, meet somebody, and then connect and then move on. But for grown men and women who are tired of that lifestyle, dating apps is a waste of time. And if you say, well, Professor X, that's all I got. All I got is dating apps. I work too many hours. I work 60, 65 hours a week. I don't have time to get out and engage in the public and meet somebody. Then my advice to you is, if you're working that many hours, you are too busy to date. If you're too busy to get out and organically put yourself in a situation where you're able to meet somebody, or wink at somebody, or high five somebody, or toodaloo somebody, as I said in another video, if you're too busy to sashay around somebody that you find attractive and you would like to get to know, and you know this man or woman, I'm talking about women right here, if you know this man is single and you too busy to sashay and let him smell your perfume and let him see you talk and walk and give him a chance to say something to you, you are too busy. If you're too busy as a man to go to that woman that don't have a ring on her finger and she looks like she's single, you never seen nobody pick her up for work, never seen nobody bring her lunch, she's not on the phone talking and texting all the time, you in an office situation, or if you out about in the stores and she don't have a ring on, that's, ladies, let me say this, if y'all don't have a ring on to a single man, that's the first thing that we look for. Now, I'm assuming women do that too, but I'm just telling you, if you don't have a ring on, that is a yellow light, at least, for a man to be able to approach. So don't be offended if you're married, don't wear a ring, and somebody approach you. All right? And let me say this while I'm talking about dating apps. Let me throw in another thing for the ladies. Ladies, chill out. Chill out. If a man approach you and you not interested in him, try not to give him attitude. Let there be a young girl. If you over 30, let me get a good age for y'all. If you over 30 and you still giving men attitude just because they said, I would like to get to know you, stop that. It's okay to say, I'm not interested at this time. It's okay. You ain't got to, snap, oh, I don't know why you approached me. What do I look like? I ain't no piece of meat. Now, I understand if he approached you like a piece of meat, then you can respond. You can react that way. But I'm talking about a man that approached you the right way. Hey, Miss Lady, I don't know your name, but I saw you over there. You look very nice. And again, physical attraction going to be the first thing we see. So he can't be interested in how you think. He don't know how you think. He can only go by what he see, how you look. So he can't say, I see you're so smart and intelligent, unless y'all work together, right? And then business place, romance, they say that's a no-no, right? But he can't see that you're smart. All he can see is that physically you have attracted his eyes. So he's going to go to you on that. I saw you, you're very nice looking. I would like to get to know you, take you out to dinner. If you're married, dating, not interested, say that. I appreciate you coming over. I appreciate you finding me attractive. But at this time, I'm not interested. But I do appreciate you. If you're too busy today, at this time, with everything I got going on in my life, trying to finish school at this age in my life, trying to get my kids through college at this stage in my life, I just don't have the time. But back to the subject. Are dating apps effective? No, not for most of good men and women. They will not be effective. You would have to go through hundreds of people to screen out and filter out what it is that you are even looking for. Matter of fact, I would call it a waste of time. And I didn't spend a lot of time on there because, like I said, I kind of know how human nature works in certain areas, so I didn't give myself to spending a lot of time on there. I would come on there and check it 2 or 3 times a week, and then I would see all the nonsense, blah, 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 blah. It was just nonsense to me. So as soon as I got on, I didn't stay on that long. I came right back off of it because I already knew this is nonsense. Most situations will happen organically. You have to be at the right place, the right time, and both people have to have it in their heart and in their mind. I'm going to say something. I'm going to approach them. I'm going to get to know them. And here's the thing. Just because you get to know somebody, y'all may just end up being friends. Now, I'm talking about organically in a public space. Everybody you meet and you introduce yourself to does not mean that they're going to be your future husband or wife. So we have to get out of that mentality. We want everybody to be the one. They may just become a great friend. Most of the women that I have met, We never even dated. They just became a great resource to me, and hopefully I became a great resource to them, depending on our field of interest and a field of expertise. But I have a lot of friends who they just put me on to some type of business situation or something that would better my life, or just I knew they was resourceful in their degree of education and I could contact them if I needed to know something. And that's what it became. We just became good friends. So everybody you meet don't have to be the one. Let's get that clear too. Some people you meet are just going to be great friends for the rest of your life. But dating apps, no ma'am, no sir. I don't recommend it. I think that at the end of the day, we're going to classify that as a waste of time unless you're just looking for hookups. Have a great time, move on, meet somebody maybe miles and miles away from your city so you can go, dib and dab, 2 hours away, get back, nobody know what you did, you carry on with your life. If that's the lifestyle, you want to move and creep like that, sure, knock yourself out. There's a bunch. Remember, the ratio of women is very high to the ratio of men. So if you a man, that's how you want to move, go for it. If you a woman with all the ratio that y'all have and you want to zone in and just have fun, go for it. Men will take you up on that offer all day long if you look halfway decent. Even if you a quote unquote, and this is subjective, ugly woman, you can find somebody on a dating app to probably take you out one time and enjoy the physical things that grown folks do. If that's what you into, it'll be there. If that's what you into. But to the serious ones, but them birds is chirping this morning. To the serious ones, it's not going to be there. It's not going to be there. Just look nice, go out, enjoy yourself, and it'll happen if you're trying to date. And a lot of times, I'm going to say this, I'm going to close with this one. A lot of times, we already have somebody in our vision that we would like to get to know. It's not like nowhere in our life, there's someone that you interact with, right? If you work at a bank, there's a client that comes in there every 2 weeks. If there's a grocery store, there's a manager that you see when you're there. There's something, it doesn't matter if you work at a warehouse or factory. One of the truckers going to come through and you know they're going to come through. One of the doctors, one of the nurses. Somewhere in your field of life, there's going to be somebody that has already caught your eye. So the majority of the time, it's just getting the gonads, as we used to say, to step forward and just ask, hey, is this possible? I would like to get to know you. I've been seeing you for a while now, and I would like to get to know you. That's it. Go to dinner. It may or may not work. Thank you for the dinner. Had a great time. That's it. Become a great friend. If he's a dentist, he can give all the information you ever need. Stay connected. Hey, what I need to do to whiten my teeth? What I need to do? What do you recommend? You're getting free advice because y'all friends now. So anyway, that's my perspective on it. Let me know what y'all think. Anybody got any stories? Put them in the comments. Tell us about it. We want to hear about it. We want to chop it up and talk about it. And to the next one, y'all have a good day. Peace.